It was May of 2016. I was finishing college and preparing for my move to Austin, Texas a few months later. I had every PlayStation since the PS1, and I was enjoying my PS4. I'd also played a number of different shooters, but wasn't very good at any of them, even though Destiny had come out about 18 months before, give or take, and I was okay at it, but not that great. My friends told me about this game called Overwatch from the legendary studio Blizzard. This is going to be their first time releasing an FPS game, and my friends were intrigued. There was an open beta coming to PS4 and they wanted to try it. So when the beta dropped, I joined them just to see what it was all about. It was unlike anything I'd ever played, to be honest, but I wasn't really feeling the game at the time. I'm not really sure why, but I just didn't really enjoy the game. I only played the beta for a bit before I stopped, and I didn't buy Overwatch at release. A couple of months pass and Overwatch launches. My friends are having a grand old time, and honestly, I start to get a little jealous. I'm thinking, maybe I didn't give this game a fair shake. So, I cough up the $60 and I buy Overwatch. I can't quite put my finger on what changed from the beta to when I bought the full game a couple of months later, but something did. It almost happened in a flash. I fell in love with the game. And the rest was history. We all know about the history of Overwatch. How it released to insane fanfare. How everyone and their dog was playing it. We know about the heroes and the maps. We know about the cinematics, the lore. We know about the Overwatch League. We know about the streamers, the archives events, the game browser, and we remember the great memories that this game has given us. We also know about the majorly suspect hero balance, the game-breaking metas, the toxicity that still runs rampant in the community at times. We know about the fall of the Overwatch League, the rehashed seasonal events, the lack of heroes over the past couple of years, the lack of maps and new core modes, and we definitely know about the scandals at Blizzard and Activision. Overwatch has seen and been impacted by so many high points and low points. It's pretty insane to think about everything that's transpired over the last 6 years or so. I could make a whole video about the lows and my own frustrations about the game and how it's been handled. But considering what's on the horizon with Overwatch 2, I'm deciding to highlight my favorite things about Overwatch. Not to ignore the disappointments. Most of us probably have some. I mean, I'll be honest, I have a lot. But I just want to be hopeful for the future, while looking back on what I loved most about this game. One of my favorite games of all time. For better or worse. I want to have a positive feeling, as we say, farewell Overwatch. Overwatch is unlike any game that I've ever played. I played some PC games growing up, and I've been on PC full time since about, I'd say, late 2017, but most of my upbringing was on console, so I never got to experience the glory days of Blizzard. I did end up playing WoW Classic when it re-released a few years back, but let me tell you, the first couple of years of Overwatch felt like some glory days to me. Those were my glory days. The memories I've made in this game, the number of actual legitimate friends that I've made in this game, the friendships that were built and strengthened playing this game. I don't know if it'll ever be matched again. I hope I'm wrong. It's definitely possible that it can happen again, but man, what an awesome time. The competitive highs and lows.
I'm 23 points away. Let's see. Let's get it!
Yeah, well, I know you got
What?
I was saying the whole time, Chris is gonna be pissed.
Let's go! Yes!
The ridiculous strats.
But apparently, there we go. Okay, well, that's the second customer. Have you got that ultimate yet? And here we go. A third customer! Hey, there we go. Okay, we're good now.
The creators that blew up with the game on Twitch and YouTube.
Oh my God!
The cinematics. The salt.
I got slipped. Winnable.
How the fuck do you use that? 어, 너 지금 다시. 아이 씨발이야.
Overwatch was and still is a one-of-a-kind game. There are other games like it, sure, like Paladins or even Apex. There are games that inspired it, like Team Fortress 2. But in my experience, none of those games do what Overwatch did for me. It's in an entirely different realm. When I first started playing Overwatch, I'd never played a MOBA or anything with a similar structure to one, so the way that the game was played was completely new to me. Early on, I gravitated towards D.Va. She had great voice lines, her design was cool, and she did a ton of damage on launch. Also, Defense Matrix was busted. Like, it was 4 seconds long. I wreaked havoc with D.Va back in those days, and it was an awesome feeling making big plays with her ultimate.
Oh, you were saying?
Later on, I started to find the fun in playing Lucio. As my confidence in game sense started to rise, I felt pretty comfortable playing a hero that spends half of the time wall riding and booping people off of ledges. Lucio helps the team with his heals and also gives his team a bit of an advantage when he speeds them up. It was so much fun, and I still play a lot of Lucio when I roll support and competitive. I played a healthy amount of Moira, the infamous Brigitte, even though she's not the absolute monster that she used to be. Thank God for that. And tanks like Winston, Hog, and Zarya. I was honestly in Orisa main for a long time when she first released, and she was really fun. But as much as I enjoy playing different heroes, none of them come close to the one I've made for the past 4 years or so. Fariha Amari.
Yep.
Shield down, shield down. Go. Nice. Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, boys.
That's right, I'm a Pharah main, baby. And honestly, I don't meet many other Pharah mains, but I mean, that's cool. Having the ability to fly around in the air was fun, it still is. And it feels great to have so much more agency over what I can do with my movements as compared to someone like, I don't know, an Ashe, standing on the ground below me. It was also kind of nice to have another hero that allowed me to boot people off the map.
Bye-bye, Reinhardt. I'll see you later.
Sorry, Reinhardt.
I was still on console when I first discovered my affinity for Pharah. I used to watch Valkia on Twitch. He doesn't stream anymore, but man, his ability on her was absolutely mind-boggling. He was a massive inspiration for me, and even though I couldn't exactly replicate what he was doing because I was on controller, watching him still helped me learn a ton of different things. And once I got on PC, the true journey began. I felt unleashed when I finally got to play on PC. My mechanics needed work, yeah, sure. But the game sense was there, and it was only a matter of time. At one point, I played with higher ranked players in viewer games on Twitch, and they said that they felt that I was a diamond level Pharah player. This was not my community, this was somebody else's, so they had no reason to lie to me. And it's been a few years since then, and I never reached those heights of, hitting diamond. But it still felt awesome to hear. One thing that I believe Overwatch does better than any other game in the genre is making you feel attached to the heroes that you play. There's lore behind each character, voice lines and interactions between other heroes. There's comics and short stories. There's cinematics. There's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of media that allows you to just dive into the background of the heroes that you love. And sure, Overwatch is not the first game to do that, but I think they do it much better than a lot of other games, especially in this space. On top of that, there's always something to learn and improve upon. And when you begin to learn synergies and team play, Overwatch is honestly unmatched, even though a lack of synergy can be your team's undoing, as I'm sure we all know. The heroes are so unique and stand out from one another. You're almost certain to find one that you fall in love with when you're playing. Pharah turned out to be that for me. I can honestly say that she's my favorite hero to play in any shooter ever. Sure, I enjoy Junkrat, and Widowmaker is my 5th highest played character on PC. But the feeling of hitting 2 direct rockets on a hit scan hero that's meant to be countering you feels incredible. And I can't replicate that on anyone else. In Apex, I was an Octane main and really loved his character overall. In Valorant, Viper and Fade are my 2 mains. But those games are very different. In Overwatch, your hero is tied to their weapon. Soldier and McCree can't use my rocket launcher, and Zarya can't use Ryan's hammer. Even though I'd love to be able to do that in custom games, and I've thought about that for years, but it's not a thing. maybe that'll happen later. Sure, Overwatch isn't the first game to do this, nor will they be the last, but along with the personalities and colorfulness of the heroes, will anyone do it better than them? I'll be honest, I'm not so sure. I think there needs to be a special spotlight cast upon the artists on the Overwatch team. Not just the hero designers, but the artists who designed the skins and cosmetics. I consider Overwatch to have the best cosmetics on the market, bar maybe Fortnite. Apex skins are extremely hit or miss, and most times they're misses for me. Like, look at these. Are you kidding me? These are terrible. Valorant has some insane weapon skins at times, but they cost a fortune to buy. Fortnite seems to be the only big shooter at the moment that has fantastic skins consistently, while also making them a bit more affordable than the games I mentioned before. However, due to Overwatch heroes being tied to their weapons, we get crazy weapon skins included with the hero skins. Like, look at these. These Pharah skins. Dragon Symmetra, Draugr Reinhardt, Demon and Forest Spirit Orisa, Barbarian Zarya, Vampire Hunter Brigitte, Nutcracker Zen, Flying Dutchman Sigma, Gargoyle Winston, Grillmaster 76. Well, yeah, so, like, look at these and tell me they're not incredible. I didn't even name a third of the incredible skins that exist in Overwatch. On Dang is the one who designed Pharah's enchanted armor skin. And while she doesn't work for Blizzard anymore, I remember her designing absolute bangers for this game. So you cosmetic artists, keep going. You guys are some of the best, if not the best, in the industry. I don't think anyone comes remotely close, but that's just my opinion. I mean, have you seen the mythic Genji skin coming to Overwatch 2? Mother of God. Oh, that shit fire. I also want to highlight the events in Overwatch, but not just any events, such as the ones that got recycled each year after a few. I'm talking about the Archives events specifically. Yeah, they were eventually recycled as well, but they continued a bit longer than the others before becoming the same thing each year. The Archives events were something that none of us in the community expected in the first few years of the game, but once they showed up, people went cuckoo. First, there was Uprising, then Retribution, and lastly, Storm Rising. It was absolutely awesome playing as past versions of the heroes that we'd grown to know and love, like Tracer's first mission in Uprising. I remember the comic that released along with the event and how hyped I was to be playing through a major event of Overwatch's lore. Retribution was my favorite by far, as we got to play as the badass covert unit of Overwatch called Blackwatch. The NPCs in this archive event were a lot more complex in their movements, although I admit now pretty basic. The talent agents looked awesome, and the setting was so damn cool. It really made me realize that I wanted more PvE content in Overwatch. It just fit the game so well. The last Archives event was Storm Rising, and while it was probably my least favorite, it was still fun and many people enjoyed it. Once we were told that Overwatch 2 was meant to have a much higher emphasis on PvE, I became excited based on what we had already seen in the Archives events. And I'm definitely looking forward to a richer, deeper PvE experience set in the Overwatch universe when the PvE content finally releases sometime in 2023. When you look at games like Warframe or Destiny and see the PvE content that these games have in a very rich world, and then you consider the lore and the world and the setting that Overwatch has, and it's just, oh, it gets me so excited, man. I'm really hoping that they deliver on that promise in Overwatch 2 because, man, it could be one of the best PvE experiences on the market we've had in the shooter genre in years. In my experience, PvE is what Blizzard does best. Many of the devs on the Overwatch team worked on building World of Warcraft, and Warcraft in general. And while the game isn't quite what it used to be, the memories that I and others have with WoW are largely positive. Most of those memories are tied to things that existed in the PvE instances, not the PvP, even though people do love the PvP. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens in Overwatch 2, but time will tell. I know I touched on this a bit earlier, but I just wanted to say that the people who produce the animated shorts, the cinematics for Overwatch, are some of the best in the industry. There are multiple cinematics that I've shed tears watching. Multiple. Not just one, not just two, maybe 3 or 4. When we got the cinematic for Overwatch 2, when Jeff first announced that the game was actually happening and the leaks were true, I went insane.
Let's freaking go, Winston. Holy shit, that looks awesome. Please don't. Winston can't die. It's Genji! Let's go! Yes! Come on! It's Genji! Come on, baby! Yes! Wacky tacky meow! It's Ryan! Brig! Come on, baby! Wait, it's Echo!
Hello, Winston.
Echo.
Holy shit! Oh my mercy!
I was so excited. I get chills every time I watch that cinematic. Reinhardt's cinematic makes me shed a tear every single time. And even the ones that aren't my favorites, I recognize are fantastic. I went into college as a 3D animation major, so that is the stuff that I wanted to do before I ended up switching my major to live action video production and film production. Obviously, I'm a full-time streamer and creator now, but I still have a background in animation. Seeing what the Overwatch team is capable of doing using that medium is so awesome. And it's a major reason why so many of us feel such a strong connection with the game. And it also makes a lot of us angry that an Overwatch anime or animated show didn't happen. Cyberpunk just came out with an anime. League of Legends has a 3D animated show on Netflix. Dota has an anime. Where is the Overwatch anime? Where is the Overwatch television series? We need it still. Maybe we'll get it one day. But one thing's for sure, it'll be fantastic if it happens. In closing, you can probably tell that I love this game. If you're watching this video, I imagine that you probably do too. For most of us, Overwatch carries memories with it that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Coming home from work or school and grinding comp with our friends. Making up custom games and opening the lobby up for strangers to join in on the fun. Cheering and also crying during new cinematics. Trash talking and bantering with the enemy team in text chat. Hearing people be absolutely insane in the voice comms. Staying up until 4 a.m., just sitting and talking with friends in group chat. Escaping from reality for a while. Sure, all of these things could happen in other games, and they definitely do. But we had all of it in Overwatch. Like I mentioned earlier, not all of it was peachy. Not all of it was so fun. There were definitely some roadblocks and mistakes by Blizzard along the way. But when it was good, Overwatch was one of the greatest games ever made, and no one can convince me otherwise. Regardless of where the sequel goes, Overwatch will always have a special place in my heart. Not only as a gamer, but as someone who got to build memories and interact with countless people over the years. And not even just in the game. On social media, on YouTube, on Twitch, Overwatch has brought a lot of us together over the years. And it's helped us build awesome memories, all thanks to this wonderful game. For better or for worse. No one can take the memories from us, even when the servers shut down. And for that, I say thank you. Farewell, Overwatch. And good luck, Overwatch 2.
No, I'm staying here.
But without you.
Lieutenant, you took an oath to be a crusader. Now, keep it.
I won't leave you!
The team needs you. Be their shield. Reinhardt, live with honor.
Die with glory, old friend. Barrier is failing! I have been called. I must answer. Always.